us on the SWAC Digital Network. Coach, how are you today?
Doing great.
Good. Glad to have you along today. And again, you can take a deep breath. Last season is over with. Now you get a chance to put in a whole season for yourself and get things going how you want it. Talk about that opportunity.
Well, I'm just blessed. You don't never know how these things going to turn out. And all you can do is work hard every day and put your best foot forward. And, we finished 4-5, and our AD, Dr. William Broussard, saw fit to recommend me, and the board agreed, and, I hit the ground. Didn't necessarily have to hit it running because I was already the head coach. So, But really trying to implement my philosophy and get some things in place to really get the mindset of the individuals focused on winning.
But talk about this time last season, what your preparations were versus now. It's a big difference, right?
Well, last year I was just trying to get the defense ready to play, and really didn't have to worry about, housing or anything like that. So now, being the head coach, you got to make sure the itineraries and, make sure everything's situated for when the guys report on July 31st.
Speaking of your AD, William Broussard is also here with us. Dr. Broussard, we appreciate you joining us here as well. And if you guys aren't familiar, you need to follow him on Twitter. Because you're very active on Twitter, right?
Yes, sir.
Is that one of your favorite things?
It's one of the most. It's kind of like asking coach if preseason workouts or defense is one of his favorite things. It's one of those things that I think increasingly athletic directors and athletic administrators need to have a presence online.
I agree.
That's where our fans are.
Yep.
That's where the richest engagement opportunities are. So, I try to manage it. I use Hootsuite, and I try to be economical.
You're using Hootsuite?
Yeah.
Wait a minute. You're way above a lot of people.
Yeah. So, but if I could send out one message and it goes out to 5 different venues, I'd much rather do that. I don't like spending a lot of time doing it, but I recognize it's necessary, and we're really appreciative of the SWAC's efforts. Really, moving things forward with the live streaming that you guys are doing, and putting everything up on SWAC.org today gives us a lot of information to be able to share with our fans and our local media in Baton Rouge. So we're really excited about Media Day and appreciate the positive direction that things are going in.
Well, we switched it up compared to recent years.
Absolutely.
I hope you guys are satisfied.
Well, I know I've noticed it right off the bat. So yeah, I think you guys have done a great job with it this year.
Well, we really appreciate that feedback. Talk about your head coach here in Dawson, the Odums, and I don't even know, was it mid-season when
2 games in.
2 games in.
Yeah,
okay,
2
when
games
you made
in.
that decent. So talk about your head coach here, and I'm sure you've been pleased with him so far.
Well, I think Coach would probably tell you that if he had his druthers, being given the interim head coach job, what was it, 9 days before the Jackson game, so going and playing one of our arch rivals on the road, he probably would have liked a little bit more than 9 days to prepare for, for that game. But
I'm sure.
But it showed early on, what kind of potential he had as a head coach. With 8 days time to take a team that was, deflated, and defeated from the home loss on ESPN, being shut out at home, to turn around 8 days later and go down, 9 days later and go down to Jackson and come out victorious. It kind of showed you early on, what Coach Odums was capable of. And I know there were probably times last year where when you've got that interim tag, it's a season-long audition. He probably felt like, and so probably had to hold back a little bit. So people are probably thinking, "Wow, that was the holding back, Coach Odums. This is going to be it's going to be a show this year." But he's done all the right things in the off season. 27 signees, 17 from the state of Louisiana, which is really important to us in terms of building our fan base, and really important to our fans. The number 4 rated black college recruiting class according to boxtorow.com. So it was an impressive recruiting class.
Sure.
Strong, practices out in spring practice, good workouts, no critical injuries, which was the most important thing, and then a very vigorous summer season, 7-on-7 camps and those things to help with recruiting moving into the future. So it's done all the right things. We're just excited to get those guys on the field and have it all pay off.
Dr. William Broussard, Athletics Director at Southern University, along with head coach Dawson Odums, here with us on the SWAC Digital Network here at the SWAC Media Days. Coach Odums, only 2 coaches were able to defeat Jackson State, Grambling, and Florida A&M in the same season, and you're one of them. Talk about that feeling, to be among that company.
Well, especially when the first game against Jackson was, if you could have seen the players' faces in the team meeting, you would have seen why nobody probably would have picked us to win that game.
Sure.
But, just getting them to understand that just have some belief in what you're trying to get done.
Right.
That was probably the most difficult game to prepare for because you're coming out of adversity. But that jump started to a little belief going into FAM because, we had them, next. So it was like, you got two really big games right there in a row that you were able to somehow get a deflated football team up and not only get them up for it, but win. So, but I really take my hat off to the guys because, we have some really high character guys in our program, and it showed in those games. And it also showed throughout the season. So it was exciting to be able to see those guys respond. And I just take my hat off to them because, they could have thrown in the towel.
Sure.
But, they rallied around what we was trying to get done, and they got a chance to taste some success. And, we hope that little bit of momentum carry over into the beginning of the fall.
You've got one of the more high-profile offensive weapons coming back in all of college football, in my opinion, and Dre Joseph, a guy who threw for 2,500 yards and 25 touchdowns to lead our conference in that category. How much is a positive when you got a senior quarterback who put up those numbers as a junior coming back to lead the way for you this season?
Well, I think it's some other numbers that are really what's intriguing about him because all he talk about is that, Coach, I've been here and I never had a winning season.
Okay.
And, to him, that's more important than anything. Is that to his senior class and the rest of the team is to somehow get this team to a winning season.
Right.
And he's done a tremendous job this whole summer, this spring, and preparing himself to even greater heights. So I'm excited about him. Great leadership, both on and off the field. Just a tremendous young man, very humble young man. So I'm excited to have him leading our Southern Jaguars.
On the defensive side of the ball, you got your DB from Shreveport, Louisiana, 5'9", 180. He was second on the team with 62 tackles, including 5 of those for a loss. Talk about Virgil Williams coming back for you as a senior as well at DB, another senior.
Well, a lot of versatility in Virgil Williams. Also a great kick returner.
Sure.
Another guy that's been in the program that's seen his troubled times. But, I think these guys have reached a point to where, they want to win now.
Right.
Before it was just talked about, from coaches trying to get them to win, but now the players have reached a point to where they want to win.
Right.
Virgil, you can't say enough about him. Fantastic young man. Both of those young men, they'll graduate, be great citizens in society, and those are the kind of young men we're trying to produce at Southern University.
Right.
But I take my hat off to them, but I want them to be successful on the field this year and give them nothing more than a chance at a winning season.
Let's talk a little bit about other sports, Dr. Broussard. I know you like successful all of them. Olympic sports, all the way down. You want to win. I've seen it. I've seen the results when you guys lose and you're not happy about it. So let's talk about basketball real quick. Men's basketball, and that season you guys had winning the SWAC tournament and representing us well in the NCAA tournament in the first round game. I just lost my opponent.
Gonzaga,
thank you very much. In a very, very competitive game. And if you looked at Twitter at that point with about 4 minutes left, it was exploding, not from just SWAC fans, but just overall basketball and NCAA basketball fans. And talk about what kind of product you guys displayed in that NCAA tournament last year from basketball.
The story of that program is so much richer than a 23-10 season and a SWAC championship, and that remarkable NCAA appearance. For Southern University to be the first institution to have a team be placed on a NCAA postseason ban, emerge from that and get back to the NCAA tournament. That's a heck of a story to have Coach Banks.
A lot of people aren't aware of that either.
Right, that's true, and it's a model. To me, I look at that is a model program for going through some of the issues that we're going through as a conference right now in terms of fighting the APR battle and emerging from it, not only being eligible to play, but doing it excellently. But Coach Banks and his staff did a remarkable job preparing us to play, but a lot of it went on behind the scenes, growing our home attendance. I think we're up 27% year over year.
Sure.
So there are a lot of people behind the scenes. Chris Jones, our sports information director. Folks on my staff putting on great home events, getting our crowd engaged. our head athletic trainer, Ashanti Sims, our head strength and conditioning coach, Corliss Fingers, doing a great job of keeping those guys healthy. I think we lost 3 total starts to injuries.
Right.
The entire season.
Wow.
So our best players were available and on the court. So, and when you put it in place that way, when you got great coaching, talented players, Derek Beltran, who's playing professionally right now down in Puerto Rico.
Correct.
Malcolm Miller, who's an absolute sharpshooter for us. When you got great players, great staff, and good people surrounding you, good things more often than not are going to happen, and that team's a great example of that. So I'll tip my hat to them. They did a remarkable job for us last year.
So you opened the season, Coach Odums, against Houston right out of the gate, on the road, obviously, in Houston, Texas. Talk about that battle and the opportunity to display your team in front of such a good program in your opener.
Well, it's a great opportunity. I think it's a great measuring stick. It's different than opening up with a Division II opponent. Guys know that, we're playing a mid-major and you got to get yourself prepared both physically and mentally. So, I welcome the challenge. I just think it's a great opportunity for recruiting to be able to put our program in the state of Texas and the city of Houston, which is only about 4 to 5 hours away from us. So, which we do try to recruit Texas. So, it's a great game for us, a great way to start the season, and we're excited about the opportunity to go to Texas.
Head football coach of the Southern Jags, Dawson Odums, and athletics director, Dr. William Broussard. Guys, I appreciate you joining us. Did you know Dr. Broussard was going to bring out this suit today? He didn't warn you for that one, did he? That's nice one. Very stylish. Nice. Guys, I appreciate the opportunity you joining us today.